So today I wanted to take a look at football myths and see how many of them are actually true. So I've picked 10 of the most famous and we're going to be putting them to the test. The first myth is all about curve. So inspired by David Beckham's free kick against Greece, I'm going to be seeing if changing my free kick position from this to this will allow me to put more curve on the ball.
So to test this, I'm going to be having 10 shots from a natural 45-degree angle and 10 shots from the 0-degree angle and come back with an average score for each position.
So to measure if I can really put more spin on the ball, I've got a ball here that's going to measure how much curve I can put on in revs per minute, so that'll tell us that. And I think the idea with this is the fact that if you come for a run up from the side, you can really wrap your foot around the ball and hopefully get more curve, so we'll see if this is actually true.
So it's probably best to mention, when taking all these free kicks, I was trying to put as much curve on the ball as possible. So I started off with a normal run-up and then moved on to the David Beckham style free kick.
From what I can see so far, the side run-up has definitely gave me a lot more curve. Final one. Final one, 429. I'll add up the results at home now and we can see what the difference really is.
I collected all the data from the ball and came back with a curve result of 397.6 revolutions per minute for the normal run-up, and the David Beckham style run-up came back with a 479.6 revolutions per minute. So this myth is actually true, and not just by a bit, by a lot. Very, very interesting results.
So this next myth revolves around the valve with the football. They say that kicking the ball on the valve will create more knuckle from a free kick. Let's see if it actually works. So first up, I'm gonna have some free kicks, just kicking the ball anywhere on the ball.
So on the first day I didn't really notice much of a difference, but it was hard to tell. So I decided to come back out and actually find a way of measuring if the valve made a difference.
Okay, so I'm back out on the pitch to try this out again today. This time I'm relying on the technology to actually answer this question. So we're going to be looking at revs per minute. The lower the revs per minute, the more knuckle on the ball. And if it's true, we'd expect to see a lower revs per minute when hitting off the valve. So yeah, let's find out.
So these are the average scores for knuckle. The lower the score, the more knuckle there is. And as you can see, there's no real difference between the two. So I can definitely say this myth is false.
So for this next myth, I've got two identical pairs of football boots and a bath. The Cristiano Ronaldo hot water trick. So the story goes, Ronaldo would soak his boots in hot water before a game to help speed up the braking process and create a more comfortable fit for his feet around the boot. So let's see if this actually makes a difference.
So I'll soak the boots in water for around 10 minutes, allowing them to mould to my feet. Then I let them dry slowly over the next few days. To test which boot was more comfortable, I decided to do it blindfolded to make sure there was no way of telling which boot was which.
Okay, they're not the most comfortable. They certainly don't feel any... Alright, I need to try the other ones first. Alright, these do feel more comfortable. These do feel slightly more comfortable. Although, which ones are these?
Those are the ones with that black mark.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No way. I mean, there's not much in it, but if I had to pick, these would be the ones. Well, yeah, I'd say that myth is definitely not true. I need to try one of these, don't I? These feel tighter. They're the same size, but these feel a lot tighter. A bit like too tight. That is very strange. So I think with all of the advice at some point when taking a penalty, just hit it as hard as you can and it'll probably score. Does any of that actually ring true?
So for this next myth, I'm going to be comparing a power shot with a placement shot when it comes to taking penalties. So I had a load of shots simply striking the ball as hard as I could, and a load of shots placing the ball in the corners. I don't give a 14 out of 20 of my power shots hit the back of the net, while 16 out of 20 placement shots scored a goal. So it was close, but after doing that test for myself, I'd definitely choose to place a penalty over power.
So myth number 5 is the claim that Vaseline will make your gloves more grippy. Let's find out. Okay, I'm not sure if this is even legal, but it certainly feels grippy. So Ewan, ping some balls at me and we'll see if this does the trick. These do feel really grippy. Once again, I'm not sure if this is legal, but in the game, mate, these do feel, this definitely works. Well, I'll just say, I'm not sure if this is allowed in the game. I don't see why not, but this definitely makes your gloves more grippy. So this myth is true.
Now the next myth is the idea that shirt sales will be able to cover a player's transfer fee when joining a new club. And this seems a bit too good to be true, so I decided to do some research. So I found out that the majority of shirt sales revenue will go to the manufacturer, for example Adidas or Nike, and the club will get a cut of between 7.5% and 20%. Let's take Ronaldo for example. It's thought when joining Juventus, the money made from shirt sales would cover his £88 million transfer fee. So it's reported that Juventus sold 500,000 Ronaldo shirts at a price of around £70 each. That equals 35 million. Take a 10% cut of that and we've got 3.5 million, and that's a very long way off the £88 million transfer fee, so I think it's fair to say this myth is definitely not true. Now myth number 7 is the jumping penalty. Does it actually give the penalty taker an advantage?
Okay, now I'm going to do the jumping penalty. So I wasn't really convinced about the jumping penalty the other day, so I'm back again today to try it out. And once again, I'm not sure it really makes a difference. If anything, it probably made me worse. Maybe with a bit of practice, you get really good at it. But from what I can tell, there's no real advantage to jumping before taking the penalty. So this next myth is about shin pads. They say smaller shin pads help you have better control and dribbling. So I've exaggerated this a little bit and bought the smallest shin pads I can find and the biggest. We're going to test them out for control, dribbling and keep ups and see how much difference either of them make.
Small shin pads versus big, and a lot of players love to wear very small shin pads, and for good reason. I definitely felt like I had more control wearing the small shin pads, but the other shin pads I was wearing were ridiculously big, so as long as you've got a reasonable size shin pad, I think the difference is minimal. But overall, I'd say this myth is true.
So it's often said that striking the ball with the lace of your boot will create more power than hitting it with the side of the foot. Let's put that to the test.
So this myth was pretty easy to test out. I had 10 shots with the side of my foot, striking the ball as hard as possible, and 10 shots with the laces. 60.7 miles per hour was the side foot and 63 miles per hour for the laces. This myth, as expected, is definitely true. Okay, so I've got the helium tank and some footballs. I'm going to fill 2 with helium and 2 with normal air. So we're just moving the tripod as far back as we can, then we're going to zoom in. So if there is any movement on the ball, we'll be able to see it pretty well. So I've just spent a little while having some shots with the helium ball and the normal ball, and I'm going to be honest, there's literally no difference whatsoever. It doesn't feel any different, neither of them move anymore. If anything, I hit my better shots with the normal balls, but there's definitely no advantage to having a helium football, especially when it comes to knuckles. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.